Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and we're here in front of Kensington Palace right now in Hyde Park to ask a local about what Americans should know before coming to London and how the British media compares to American media. What do you like about living here?
I like about it. There's a dwindling list of things. I think generally the people are quite friendly and open. There's some opportunity to progress in life here, although not as much as in other countries. I was kind of born and raised on these islands, so all my family and a lot of my friends are here.
Is there anything you dislike about living here?
Dislike about living here, I suppose it's super expensive, especially compared to what the salaries are for a lot of people, the average salary. It's not an easy place to live. Yeah.
I learned that about 60% of the UK thinks BREXIT is a mistake. Why do you think that is, and do you think it has anything to do with the housing crisis we're seeing?
The housing crisis predates Brexit, so I wouldn't blame Brexit for that. But Brexit is the biggest betrayal this country has ever gone through. It's such a divisive issue on a coin toss. I know I had rights to work and live and study and fall in love in all these different European countries, and that's been taken away from me with no consultation, just on the basis of one vote, and then slammed in this authoritarian government that's not really consulting with people that are young. I knew I had these emotions that were deep down, but it just takes a simple question to kind of tap into them.
Do you know any Americans who live here or visited?
I do know Americans. Do they live here still? A lot of Americans I've known have kind of left.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they told you about any challenges they faced here? Any culture shock moments?
Culture shock. I think language takes away most of the challenges. Well, I think more than half of the people in London weren't born in the UK. So there's a big international community of Americans. You know, they fit in really easily.
They call it a melting pot here.
Definitely, yeah. I encourage Americans to come and visit and study and work. It's nice to walk around these places. I'm taking my walk right now. I don't have a car, so it's kind of different to America. I think a lot of people have more than one car in America. And a lot of people, I don't think any of my friends in central London have got cars.
I've noticed
see a lot
that.
of people, see a lot of faces. So
it took a couple weeks for me to get used to the tube and having to ride the tube or bus all the time to get places.
I'd recommend bicycles on any day that's sunny and not wet.
What are the, let's say, top 3 places you think Americans should visit when they come here?
The museums and the art galleries are amazing because they're free to get in. The standard exhibits are free. The British one, it shouldn't be called the British Museum, it should be called the Rest of the World Museum. The Tate, Tate Britain and Tate Modern are amazing. Palaces are nice to look at. I've never actually gone inside. A bit of a Republican way. Oh, she's gone. Don't tell Kim.
Yeah. If you had to pick between reading the paper here or watching TV, what would you pick?
Probably reading the newspaper because I think newspapers have more depth. Depends on the newspaper. A lot of the newspapers in this country I perhaps wouldn't recommend reading. A lot of the newspapers anyway, they're right wing, and so they push a particular consumerist, individualist perspective, which is doesn't sit correct with a lot of British people's opinions.
I know in America our news programs are very polarizing. The anchors take a lot of liberty to just express their personal opinions, and they face a lot of scrutiny for that.
Yeah.
Do yours face as much? Are they more objective?
There is a rule for objectivity in the media in this country, in the television media anyway. So you do find both sides of the story trying to be presented on television, but it's not the panacea, because often where science is involved, like climate change, climate crisis for example, there's no debate in the scientific community about whether that's real. it's real. But now, if you watch a news program, they'll bring a climate skeptic on to argue the counterpoint to like a true blood scientist. You find these news programs trying to balance the argument between those two. And for the viewer, I think that's wrong. The crank should be called out as a crank and not invited onto the show. That's nuts.
How much of your news do you get from social media?
I don't use Facebook or any of those. Yeah, I'm not interested, and I don't think a lot of my friends are interested in gaining any online profile. They just tend to use private WhatsApp groups to communicate. When you've got a small group of friends that you communicate with, I suppose you're more likely to be aligned on political views, things like that, so you're not going to make anyone angry, maybe. That's another reason to stay away from it.
A lot of divides there.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I can sense how this place has got a lot more angry and divisive and over the last 10 years or so. And I think if we had a more discerning view about social media and its potential harms, in the same way as like a product like tobacco, it's dangerous. There should be a warning on it. It's difficult to lift your head up sometimes. I wish you all the best. It's been an interesting conversation. I'll be thinking about it for the rest of my walk now.
I'm glad to have made your day. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.